Hi and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm creating another loose watercolor flower, and I start the flower by sketching it out with a permanent red ink. After the reactions on my last loose floral painting, I thought it might be a good idea to do some more because it seems you really enjoyed that video. And I love to paint loose florals, so maybe this is a perfect combination. I'm sketching that flower without a reference, but if you are new to loose floral paintings, I always recommend using a reference photo. It makes it a lot easier. Of course, everyone knows how a flower is looking, but when you have to draw it, it's totally different. I try to keep my lines super loose. I want them to be thinner and thicker. They should just be different, and the flower shouldn't be perfect. The ink that I'm using is a permanent ink. I recently had the idea of outlining my sketches not with black, and when you want to create a loose watercolor sketch, you need a permanent ink, otherwise it will bleed with the watercolors, which could also be a really nice effect, I believe. The book that I'm working in is a watercolor journal. It's from Kunst und Papier. It's, I believe, a German manufacturer, and they have really nice watercolor journals. Of course, the paper is not super perfect, but for a sketchbook it's really okay, I would say, and it's not that expensive. I also really love the size. It has about 6 by 6 inches. I also often use normal watercolor paper for my loose florals because I like to cut them out and use them in my art journals. As always, you will find linked up my blog post in the video description, and there I have uploaded some close-up images. After I have made the sketch, I have to wait a little bit until the ink is dry, and I had some blobs in some areas, and I used a piece of tissue to dab that off so that the ink dries a bit faster. I now wet the areas I want to go in with the watercolors, and today I am working with my Mijello Mission Gold colors because I haven't used them for quite a while, and they are still my favorite watercolors. I'm just playing intuitively. What I often do is I think about the colors I want to use, and I always or often try to use complementary colors in some areas to make it pop even more. And well, that's something I love to experiment with. And if you don't have any idea which color combination you could use, I recommend Pinterest. You will find a lot of color palettes, and there you can choose from. After I have colored in the petals of the flower, I just use some water on the background and connect it in some areas so that the watercolors flow into the background. Also, while it's still wet, I'm going in with a yellow color and just add some more variation to my flower. I'm painting this flower in real time because I learned while watching watercolor tutorials that I don't like it when it's speed up because you can't paint along. And I also enjoy when the artist describes a little bit what he or she is doing. So if it's too slow for you, you can use that YouTube setting where you can speed up the video, so it's not that long. I created these tiny circles on the background. It's always good to have something else going on the page when you have a focal image. When the flower it's on its own, it's a bit boring, and when you have some more texture on the background going on, then it becomes more interesting. I also blend in the green leaves to my background. That's something I also like when you have a white background, adding color to it, just a little bit, and I'm using the same colors that my flowers have or my flower has, and it just creates more depth because it's a little bit too unnatural, I would say, when you have a white background together with a flower. I'm adding in some really dark shadows because I want to make the flower pop even more, and the higher contrast you have between your color tones, the more interesting or more depth your painting has. And For the shadows, I mixed that dark green with the violet. It's always a good way to create shadows using the complementary colors of your painting. So the green and the violet will mix a really dark grayish color, and that's perfect for this painting as a shadow color. For example, if my flower would have been red, I would have mixed the red with the dark green, so I would get a more brownish shadow color. I don't recommend using black for a shadow because it's too hard. That's also something I love about the loose floral sketching, that it doesn't take a lot of time, and you can do this just within 15 minutes, and that's something you can do every day, and that's so relaxing and so much fun. That was my painting for today. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I hope you are a little bit inspired to get out your watercolors and paint. I hope we see us next time. Bye.